So US had like 3.8 million, whatever, it's just what I remember, whatever, something like that. EUNE had like twice as little, less, whatever, I can't English anymore. Like 1.9 million or something, right? That was EUNE-ish, you know? Hey, Rectic with a prime, thanks so much. And then NA, I saw an A. I think it was like very similar to EUNE or something. Well, a little bit less or something. I don't remember. I feel like NA is just dying slowly, but right. This is what I saw. But then there's another thing I saw, and this was crazy to me. Right? EUNE, sorry, EUWest has 300 challenger slots and 700 GM slots. Right? Because that's how it works. If you are top 1,000 players on the server, you're Grandmaster. If you are top 300 players on the server, you are Challenger. Your LP doesn't matter. As long as 200 at least for GM and 500 at least for Challenger. But it always gets up. Always goes up at the end of the season. Always like 1,000 for Challenger, right? Cool. And then I was on EUNE. On EUNE you have 200 Challenger slots, right? And 500 GM slots, right? That's EUNE, okay? So if you look at the numbers here, you have 200 Challenger slots, let's say, with 1.9 million. And on EUWest, you have 300 Challenger slots with 3.8 million. Which means there's more players on slightly more slots. AKA, there's more players per Challenger slot. So you have more competition. This is why, by these numbers alone, EUWest above Master is a harder server. Because you have more people fighting for those limited slots. Because like every other division in the game, GM and Challenger are very limited. There's only a set amount of them, right? So that's how it is, okay? But on top of that, you add the fact that you have pro players, and streamers, right? Let's make this larger, okay? You have pro players, and streamers on EUWest, and on EUNE you don't really have many streamers and pro players. Not that many. Okay, not that many. Let's be honest. There are not that many. Let's just be honest, right? Cool. Now, this is why we all agree EUWest is harder than EUWest is harder than EUNE. Cool. Okay. Now, North America. Does it have 200 slots like EUNE? I mean, the server size is the same. Roughly, right? Well, you'd be surprised. North America has 300 challengers and 700 GM slots. You'd be surprised. And this, by definition, ignoring pro and streamers, this, by definition, makes EUNE harder than North America in GM and challenger. Because the player amount is like very similar, but there's more challenger slots. So there's less competition. Okay? We can all agree that this is a true statement. Yeah, that's how it is. Right? I was so very surprised. It's like, damn. I thought NA is better. Not really. Right? EUNE is very comparable to NA. But then there's a little variable. There's a little variable that's very hard to think about. Or like, it's very hard to say how much it skews the numbers. Because on NA, unlike on Europe, right? In Europe, you have two servers. The most popular one gets all the pro players and streamers. The least popular one doesn't have that many pro players and streamers, right? But in NA, there's one server. So in NA, you have pro players and streamers, right? And how are streamers, by the way, how are streamers different from any normal player? Well, streamers play like the game like 6 hours at least every day. Right? They're not your average player. Okay? Streamers are just above an average player on average because they play the game more and they live from it. And okay, so they're very similar to pro players in a way. They want to be as good as they can. Right? So now the pro players and streamers in NA, are they enough to make the servers equal? Right? Because if you look at the numbers here and you count, you have roughly like EUNE has roughly around 50% competition more than NA, right? Because you have very similar amount of players. I don't know exact numbers. I check them. I feel like checking them at the start of the season is bad. You should always check them at the end of the season because that's when everybody had time to play at least a few ranked games, right? So it's like you have 50% more competition on EUNE, right? Because there's 50% less slots, you know? Or not 3%. I don't know if the math is correct. I think you know what I mean. Whatever, right? These numbers are not 100% correct. But the idea, right? And it's like, are the pro players and streamers on NA enough to make this statement equal or this way even? I don't know. And it's very hard to say, right? I think the only way to say is to look at the amount of pro players you have on this server and on EUNE as well. And it's like it's like if you have 100 pro players here, then maybe the numbers are like this. If you have 100 pro players and streamers on NA in high-elo. If they occupy 100 challenger slots, let's say. You have something like this, and the servers are equal. Do we know? We don't know, right? So it's very, very hard to say which server is better unless you play on both. But the problem is, if I play on NA, I play with 200 MS. I don't want to do it. It's unfun for me. Okay? So, yeah. And even it has more one tricks though, that's not good for overall level. How do you know that? How do you verify that? I feel like it's impossible to verify that. And somebody being an OTP, in my opinion, doesn't make them a worse player. If anything, it makes them a better player because they're OTP, they play their champion like crazy, they climb higher than somebody that switches champions like Sox. How do you know? How do you say what's right? You don't know. Same with here. Like, I don't know. Because, you know, at the end of the day, EUNE does have some pro players and some streamers. Look, I streamed on EUNE. I got challenger on EUNE, no problem. 1001 LP. You have like CPM and some other people, Romanian guys, also like stream and play on EUNE from time to time. You have Desperate Nasus, a lot of people know him. Yeah, he's playing US, he's insane. But bro, he got rank 1 EUNE, so he's playing on that. So it's not like they have zero. And then, the amount of pro players in NA, for example, is it, you know, let's see, lots. For example, US has lots of pro players and lots of streamers. Is NA some pro players? Is it NA lots of pro players? Or just average? You know, because that's what I'm thinking here. Like average, because there's only one servers. So at the end of the day, is this difference enough to make the servers equal, the same, better? I don't even know, right? It's very, very, very hard to say. You know? It's just... at the end of the day, if you ask me if EUNE is worse than US, then EUNE is better than NA or not, or who knows what, my opinion would be more like EOS definitely better than both EUNE, and NA. EOS definitely better above GM, like GM Challenger, right? But very high elo. That's all I'm caring about. Below Master, Diamond, in my opinion, the servers are just doesn't matter, man. I could play whatever. Play whichever server you want, it doesn't matter, right? But then EUNE and NA is more like a question mark. Equal-ish, but not really, because these factors are here, and this disparity between Challenger slot, GM slots, and... Right? And then you look at here, let's say Challenger, another good argument. Challenger cutoff. Right now, EOS Challenger cutoff is 611. It only started a few days this season, by the way. GM is 383. Go to EUNE. GM is 212. Challenger 500. It's still not full. Then you go to NA. Challenger is 500. GM is 200. So already by definition, EUNE, you need more LP to get GM in EUNE than in NA. They didn't even fill the GM slots in NA. Meanwhile, in US, look at this. Right? and EUNE is still going up. So by definition, if you ask me, in my opinion, EUNE is better than NA, just because a lot of US players are also playing on EUNE. And if you look at the numbers with LP, the numbers don't lie, okay? Right? So this is sometimes like you see people like shit talking EUNE players, but the people that shit talk are actually from NA. You know, the people that shit talk EUNE players a lot of times are from NA, and it's like, brother, what the hell? EUNE is better than your server, the shit talk and stuff like that. Right? But it's like, personally, I don't really care about the shit talk and stuff like that. But it's like, it's funny, you know. What about Korea and US? I actually have no idea. I think Korea is just better, right? Look, 701. The numbers don't lie, right? Look, it's like makes a lot of sense, right? Because Koreans, I think, have more players as well, right? I don't know. I actually don't know. Right? But this is the information I know, right? And this is my opinion. IMO. Actually, not my MO. I feel like a lot of people can agree if you look at the data. This is probably correct. But yeah, I mean, does this mean anything? By the way, does this mean anything? It doesn't mean shit. It just does not mean anything. If you, let's say you are inspiring, you want to be a pro player, and you are going to be like, oh, I'm gonna hit challenger, best server US, we go US, we hit challenger, then I'm going to be a pro player. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Like, I feel like for pro players, like for pro in general right now, people don't really scout out like this from solo queue. You need to seek people that work in pro play and stuff as a player. Nobody's going to really search for you. You need to go search for people. That's the thing. You know, sure, your solo queue rank helps, but you still need to search. You need to look out for stuff and teams and stuff. You never really get recruited anymore, right? But again, for the average player, bro, like choose the server with lowest ping. It does not freaking matter. And if you're living in Europe, in my opinion, you should try to, if you're serious about the game and you want to get like GM and Challenger, brother, play EUNE first. It's going to give you such a big confidence boost. You're going to need it. Because once you go to US, you're going to cry. Okay? I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from experience. EUNE, I reached 1100 LP Challenger. And US, I was like maximum like 700 LP. Right? So, well, there's a difference. And the players are insane on the US. It's insane. And just go play Korea. Again, like the problem for me, I can't go on other servers. I have ping issues. You know, they're far away from me. So I only play on Europe, EUNE and US. Right? And instead of just playing on US because, hey, I want more of a challenge. EUNE, I just play EUNE, I get challenger. Wow. Whatever. Right? US is more mysterious. You know, more of a challenge.